Hi, I'm Dr. Chris Hibner, Superintendent of East Troy Community School District. As we continue to strive towards becoming the district of choice, I think it's vitally important that we remember that we focus on 6 facets within our educational system. These 6 facets are 1. Student achievement, 2. Quality professional staff, 3. Technology, 4. Facilities, 5. Community engagement, and 6. Operations. By focusing on all these 6 facets and knowing that they are all interrelated and that we must move them forward together, this will help to move our district forward. But most importantly, it'll help us to make sure and ensure that our students are properly prepared with the skills necessary in our ever-changing global landscape. While we continue to focus on these 6 facets, the quickest way for us to move these forward will be for us to focus on continuous improvement and continuous enhancement. When I say us, I mean the staff of the East Troy Community School District, the parents of the East Troy Community School District, the community of the East Troy Community School District, and yes, the students of the East Troy Community School District. All of us must focus on continuous improvement and continuous enhancement. While we aim to have this continuous improvement, we also want to meet and exceed our district goals. District goal number 1, ensuring a year to a year plus of learning growth. What does this mean? If you really think about this, a year to a year plus of learning growth, it's an enormous goal that's overwhelming, but yet vitally and crucially important. A year plus of learning growth, let's think about this. A child that comes into a 3rd grade level, below 3rd grade, and a child that comes into 3rd grade, well above the 3rd grade level, both should be ensured that they are going to have a year to a year plus of learning growth. The child below 3rd grade needs to make sure that they have a year plus, that we're closing the gap that's causing them to be behind grade level. But the child that's above grade level also needs to be ensured that they continue to have a year of growth towards making sure that we have the extended learning and explorations that this child deserves. So in the end, we are not focused on grades. We are not focused on graduation rates. We are not focused on making sure attainment of a grade level or in a certain discipline such as math or reading. What we are focused on is ensuring that every single child in the East Troy Community School District has a year to a year plus of learning. An enormous task, but one that must be accomplished by our district to ensure that students do have the necessary skills towards having success in our ever-changing global landscape. The second goal in our East Troy School District is ensuring proper programming through systems and practices. What does this mean? Ensuring proper programming through systems and practices that recognize the talents of each child. We must make sure that we are enhancing our current programming, that we are improving upon our current programming in our core and in our encore. But we also must make sure that we are bringing forth new programming that will assist students in today's world and tomorrow's world. Programming that will help us to make sure that our students are problem solvers and that they're establishing higher order thinking skills towards making sure that we continually create creators and innovators in our ever-changing world. This is what will assist our students tomorrow. Some of the programming that we are doing within the East Troy Community School District as we speak is we are adding elementary global literacy. We want to make sure that all of our elementary students have world languages and world cultures embedded within our curriculum. This is something that you should begin to see this school year and that should be improved upon each and every school year hereafter. Another initiative that you should see, we are adding a project-based learning. You often hear referred to it as PBL, project-based learning. This is added in our 4th and 5th grade. Right now, this year, we are adding a class. But in the future, our goal is to make sure that we are adding project-based learning within all of our classrooms. It is not an add-on. It's not an extra. It is part of our everyday teaching practices and most importantly, part of our everyday student learning practices. We are also adding at our middle school world cultures in our 6th grade. And we have added robotics. All 6th graders will be required to take robotics, and in 7th and 8th grade, it'll be optional. We hope that this will help to bring forth science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, often referred to as STEM. We believe that these initiatives will increase our student engagement, but more importantly, will bring forth the higher level thinking that we know is so vitally important for our students today. Also, I believe it'll help to increase our teaching practices. At the high school, we are doing team-taught algebra classes. We are adding an integration technology squad, which we are in the second year of doing. We have added accelerated biology, and we have also added a Project Lead the Way, PLTW course in our high school. The first course is Introduction to Engineering Design. Our goal after that will be to add a course or courses each and every year towards fulfilling the entire Project Lead the Way course requirement. These are exciting times in East Troy for programming. These are not things that are taking the place of anything else. But I do have to reiterate, it is vitally important that we understand we cannot continue to supplement in addition to all the other things in our district. We must look at supplanting. And what I mean by supplanting is taking the place of. It doesn't mean removing or stopping. But what are we currently doing with some of our programming that we can begin to implement into new programming towards offering a vast array towards recognizing the talents of each and every child in our district? The third goal in our district is probably the most difficult goal, and that is ensuring individualized learning through engagement by offering a personalized learning environment. Now think about that goal for a second and how broad and complex that goal is. That we need to make sure that we are trying to individualize the learning experiences for every single child, but we need to do it by making sure that they are actively engaged. And we need to also do it by how? Creating a personalized learning environment. This is where we're focusing on the practices throughout our school district. The practices are our foundation, the foundation to making sure these things occur. What are some of these practices that we are focusing on that are crucial initiatives? The first one would be assessments. What are assessments? Assessments are how do we know what a child knows? What do they do not know? What do they like? What do they need to improve on? And using that information towards our planning, our preparation, and our delivery of instruction. This is going to help us immensely towards making sure that the quality education that we're providing is individualized. Another component of why assessments are so important, let's just look at the research for a minute. Quality assessments can double the rate of student achievement. That was done by Dylan Williams just recently in 2010. But we can even go back further than that. Let's go back to 1981 by Hastings, Blooms, and Maddox. They had identified that regular formative assessments that are done on a regular practice basis that lead to corrective action in a classroom. So you're taking the assessments and it's applying to, you're changing in your planning and your instruction. When doing that, it can lead to high student gains of learning. That was back in 1981. If you want to go back further, you can go back to the 1960s with Benjamin Bloom. And Benjamin Bloom has talked about differentiated instruction in 1960. The positive things we have going for us now in our educational system is that we have a lot of tools and we have a lot of research that indicates where we need to put our time and efforts and energy towards assisting high student engagement and achievement. Another quality foundation that we're focusing on, as I referenced earlier, is PBL, project-based learning. We don't look at this as an extended activity. We don't look at this as an add-on, but it's a way of helping us to not just have a direct instruction in lecture mode, but to allow our students an opportunity to explore, to expand their knowledge, to get something wrong. It's not about a right and wrong answer always. It's about having our children explore and understand the why, and also to give them the opportunity to collaborate and communicate. And when they're not getting the right answer, due to the fact, who says there is a right answer? Because if we're trying to create creators and innovators, it's not necessarily about a right or wrong answer. It's about what are they creating. In project-based learning, we believe will make learning more authentic, more real, which will increase their engagement, which also we believe will help us to achieve that year to a year plus of learning growth. Another thing that we're focusing on heavily in our district for foundational practices is our curriculum. We believe our curriculum must meet the Common Core standards, must meet the next generation science standards. These next generation science standards and Common Core standards have raised the bar. The rigor is higher. The expectation is higher on our students than ever before for what they should be able to accomplish when they leave grade levels and they leave our East Troy Community School District. It is our job to make sure that we are helping these students to achieve these goals. With that being said, we need to make sure that our curriculum is guaranteed and viable. What does guaranteed and viable mean? It means that every child entering whatever classroom, whatever grade level, whatever building is being offered the same exact curriculum. Now, this does not mean that I want to remove the creativity of what a high-quality educator will offer. Absolutely not. A high-quality educator is the most important component, which I'll get to next. But what we do need to make sure is that every child is being offered the same guaranteed and viable curriculum. Now we need to assess that curriculum on what the child knows and does not know, what they are interested in, and use that vital pre-assessment information from that diagnostic, just like in a medical exam, towards determining the next appropriate action for each and every student, which again will lead towards development of specific goals for kids. We are focused on improving our assessments, improving our feedback, improving our curriculum. Something that we will be doing in the 2014-2015 school year with our curriculum is we will be having it go live. We will have it on our webpage, and we will have it through our BYOC, Build Your Own Curriculum. It will be live to parents and students. Parents will be able to see specifically what their child is supposed to attain at the end of a grade level, what activities are going to be done, what assessments possibly will be being used, and even the connections and partnerships that we're trying to establish through other parts of the community and outside the community to make our learning more authentic and real world and meaningful. This will be available at the beginning of the 14-15 school year. I just referenced that. That is the next point that we're trying to do for a core foundation piece. And that is we're trying to build partnerships. We want to extend our learning beyond the classroom walls. If we really want to make learning authentic, we must not have it viewed as this is what happens in school and this is what happens in real life. We must have school be real life. And to do that, we must make sure that kids not only understand what our core emphasis of what we want them to learn, but they must also understand the relevance and meaning to what they are learning. And to do that, we have to draw connections and partnerships to businesses, to individuals in our community, outside of our community, that could come into our schools and that we can go outside of our schools. This will help to build not only community engagement, but will also help to have the students understand the relevance and importance of what they are learning, towards making sure that they are not memorizing what they're learning, but applying it, analyzing it, and creating, again, new ideas upon it. The why. Why are you learning it, and where are you taking it is so vitally important. Another foundation in these core functional practices within our district towards ensuring individualized learning by creating an engagement through personalized learning environment would be the use of digital media integration. We absolutely must utilize digital media integration towards helping to achieve more authentic assessments, towards helping to provide more feedback in regards to collaboration between students, communication between students, students within the East Troy Community School District, and students outside of the East Troy Community School District. We must use digital media integration to assist us, the professional staff, with collaborating and communicating with others throughout the area. We are a global educational society now. We do not have to limit just ourselves to collaborating with the person next door. We can collaborate and communicate with people all over the world. One thing that we must do, though, with digital integration is we must make sure that it amplifies the learning and does not distract the learning. That is a huge component that we must make sure that we're working towards ensuring while students are utilizing digital media integration towards assisting with their learning, that it amplifies their learning and does not distract from their learning. Another component, and probably the most important one of all the foundational practices towards ensuring this, is student data, student achievement. Utilizing student data within the classroom on a daily basis. Are the students learning? Is each child learning? Our shift is shifting from teaching to learning. When people talk to me about reforming education and they say, what's changing? I always say the biggest shift is that the emphasis is on learning. Learning for us, the adults, learning for the children, not on the teaching. So the core practice of using student data is essential. Using the data not to grade. Yes, a grade will have to be given ultimately towards showing does the child attain the mastery of that skill at that grade level. But most importantly, using the student data towards, again, assisting the child with proper goal development and assisting us, the educator, with our planning and our instruction. So we must utilize student data and we must share the student data. We must be transparent with the student data, with the child's parents, with our community about how our buildings and our grade levels and our district is doing. I am all right with sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly, because at least we are sharing it and we are improving upon it. Let's go back to what I originally said. It must be about continuous improvement and continuous enhancement for all of us. The fourth goal in our district is ensuring that we attract and retain a quality professional staff. We must ensure this. Why is this so vitally important? Because in my opinion, there's nothing more important than a quality professional staff. Everything else that we have talked about does not occur without a quality professional staff. Let's give an example. A child that's in the 50th percentile, that has a teacher in the 50th percentile, does not gain any points of growth for that year. The child will remain in the 50th percentile, conducted by Marzano. A child who's in the 50th percentile, who has a teacher in the 98th percentile, will grow by 27 points. They could go from the 50th percentile to the 77th percentile. Now think of a child that has that 98th percentile teacher for 2 consecutive years, and that child that had the 50th percentile teacher for 2 consecutive years. They came into a grade level the same, let's say, but in 2 years, look at the difference that is occurring. The quality of the teacher, the quality of leadership in a building is by far the most important impact on student achievement and student success. We must make sure that we understand this. Now, that does not mean that we just raise the bar on making sure that all of our quality professional educators have a bar that's raised so high without support. We need to make sure that we're providing great professional development opportunities, that we're providing the support needed so that they can learn and implement and enhance all of the practices we talked about. One does not know all of these and can do all of these at that height without support. And they continually are changing. They're fluid. So we must continually be providing this support. We need to have quality leadership in each and every one of our buildings. And yes, in the district, beginning with me, hopefully, we must make sure that we have the quality leadership that is pursuing and pushing and challenging and making sure our initiatives are progressing appropriately. We must make sure that our student achievement is always moving forward and the focus is not on grades. That's one component, yes, but the focus should be on growth and a year plus of learning growth for each child. And our cohorts, meaning our grade levels that are moving forward, are they developing by a year each and every year? And we can do that by, yes, looking at some things such as MAP testing and standardized testing and the WKC. Those are all important components. And we also should be looking at our grade level assessments. So standardized testing, no, I do not believe in teaching to for 1 second. We will not teach to standardized tests. But if we implement the practices that I just got done talking about, and we have the quality professional staff that I believe we absolutely have to have, I guarantee you we will have the growth that we are ensuring, and we will have the engagement that we so desire. And with that being said, the students will do fine on the standardized tests because they will be having the qualities and skills needed for higher level thinking and critical thinking and problem solving. They will be creators and innovators. It will take time, it will take effort, but we have to stay laser focused on those issues. But please be with me when I tell you, you have to support and we must support quality professional educators throughout our entire district in all areas of our district. They are the glue to our students achieving. And we must make sure that we're always attracting the best and that we are retaining the best. The next goal is quality facilities, ensuring that we have facilities for today and tomorrow that enhance the educational experience. Like it or not, we are tied to revenue limits. And you may like revenue limits and you may not like revenue limits, but revenue limits are how much money we are able to spend in a school district unless we go to a referenda and ask for a specific referendum within the community. While we do this, we must also understand that facilities are an attractable component to people. And it's the facilities that possibly could attract somebody to come to your district, and it's the facilities that might have somebody leave your district. Now, I don't believe that our facility upgrades should just occur for the mere possibility of attraction. I want to make sure that any facility upgrades we do throughout our district is about enhancing our learning experiences, not creating a barrier, helping our quality professional educating staff to have a facility that enhances the learning experiences and helps them to incorporate the practices that we just talked about today. We need to make sure that all of the work that was done by our ad hoc facilities committee that had a wide range of people involved, that we address the 41 million identified in those needs. Now, how do we do that? When do we do that? We need to make sure that these capital projects are addressed. We need to make sure that we're moving forward. I personally want to see us just accomplish something of the 41 million. We need to demonstrate to our students, to our parents, to people who are not yet here in East Troy, that we are a district moving forward and that the facilities are one aspect, again, of the 6, they're one aspect of showing that we are moving our district forward. But that one aspect is vitally important to move forward, as are the other 5 aspects within our district. The 6th component is making sure that we have operations that are being highly efficient. We need to make sure that we are being true to all stakeholders. Yes, our first priority should be on student achievement and student engagement. Our second priority should be on making sure that we're providing the best district possible towards becoming that district of choice. But we also need to be very understanding and well aware of the climate, of the monetary situation that's happening within the economy. With that being said, we need to make sure that we are controlling our debt, controlling our spending, but we also need to make sure that we are investing properly. We have to invest in the things that are going to give us an optimal gain, that are going to help us to produce those practices and achievement results that in return will move us towards becoming the district of choice. And in return, retain quality staff, attract quality staff, retain students, and attract students, which in return makes us what we want to be, and yes, does bring revenue to our district, and yes, does help our community. You could look at it from a numerous standpoints. Could help our community tax base, could help our community services. Show me a great school district and I show you a great community. Show me a great community and I'll show you a great school district. So we must make sure that we're doing those things. I'm proud of the fact that we have tried to control a lot of our operational efficiencies. We do many facets throughout our district for controlling cost avoidance, making sure that we're controlling something so it's not a future cost. We also have looked at benefits. We have changed providers. We have changed the plan design. We have done many things to try and control costs. Unfortunately, I am saddened to say that we've also had to cut in the last 6 years. That makes it difficult to not only move forward, but to maintain. We must not find shame or blame or make excuses, but we also must understand the relativity of what has been occurring in our district. As we move ahead, I am well aware of the challenges and the complexities that are facing all of education and communities, and especially facing school districts. But with that being said, I am also very excited. I am very excited that the East Troy Community School District is not being directed to do stuff, to move forward. We are being proactive. Yes, many of the initiatives from the state level in the Department of Public Instruction are coming forward, but I'm proud to say that we've been ahead of that game. We have not been having to wait to be told. We're ahead. We're proactive because we understand the importance of the practices that I've described in the last 15 minutes or so. I am also very excited that we continue to not find shame or blame or make excuses. We understand that we have many accomplishments, and I would love to share all those accomplishments. I don't have the time, but I can state a few very quickly. We have our AP scores. We have improved our AP exam scores each and every year. We have more students taking our AP courses each and every year. We also have many students who are well achieving, over 50% of meeting their targeted growth each and every year. But even though we have those accomplishments and many more, we realize we have much to yet still accomplish. We have to make more growth in our district. We have to ensure every child is having growth. In conclusion, I understand the challenges and obstacles that the East Troy Community School District is facing. But I also understand the great opportunity that we have. I often will have people ask me, so what will education be like, Dr. Hibner? What will education be like in East Troy? My response, the education in East Troy will be like whatever we make it. I think that's exciting, that we have an opportunity to make the educational environment be what we make it. If we make sure that our district initiatives are progressing and we truly hold true to all of our 6 core district goals, we will move the district forward. We will become the district of choice. This will not be a matter of if we become the district of choice. It will be a matter of when we become the district of choice. Thank you for taking the time to listen. And I also want to thank each and every one of you personally for allowing me to be your superintendent.